We Weave. I'm Alex.
I'm Alara.
And this is part 2 to the other video we just talked about stones and halls.
Mm-hmm.
This one is also from the same store, Power of the Rainbow in Arlington, right?
Yeah.
And that's somewhere where we've been a lot, we go a lot.
I go pretty frequently.
I feel like, is his name Trey?
Yeah.
I think his name is Trey, like Trey,
Well,
isn't it?
Well, it's either that or Willie.
I
Walter.
think it's Trey. Because I think it was talking about someone's name being Walter.
Oh, maybe that's it. I'm getting
I think his name is Trey.
crossed.
Maybe if we can go on his website or something, it might say his name. But
I'm pretty
he was
sure.
there today because he wasn't there the last time we went. And like
Yeah,
we
we've
walked
been
in,
there
he's
the
like,
last couple of
I was just thinking of y'all. Like we go in, she goes in a lot more, but
But that's the thing. Most of the time, if you go in there and he's not there, it's because they travel a lot. Like he goes to different places to
get stones.
Get stones.
Yeah, he goes to a lot of the shows nearby too. So if anytime there's a show, he's gone.
I know. He's a great personality. I love him, and he's so funny. I swear that man has a high charisma score.
Oh yeah, no, like I feel like if you really take ownership of a store into account, like you gotta have the right personality because it ain't gonna go well if you don't.
Yeah, which he's a lot of the charisma and the knowledge of stones, and his daughter, she is very creative and she's good with energy work. She makes a lot of bracelets. She makes a lot of statement pieces.
Did she make that one? Or did you?
Actually, she did. Good point.
Okay, because you were wearing the other bracelet last time.
Yeah, this is another one that she specifically made, and this is the daughter. She calls it a mojo bracelet, and it's specifically for like creativity and like, you know, just getting your
Yeah, I
your
can see
mojo
that
flowing.
because it's like red, orange, yellow.
But yeah, this whole thing is red jasper, carnelian, smoky quartz, tiger's eye, rutilated quartz. Am I missing any? And garnet. So I mean,
Which are all like the first 3 chakras, which
Yeah.
makes sense as to why it's, you know.
so I mean, she knows her stones, she knows her chakras. She's really good with energy work. She intentions each of her bracelets that she makes, and she will make special pieces for you. Like I have commissioned her to make certain bracelets for me for particular purposes. And man, when she lays an intention down, it works pretty well.
Yeah, and today someone actually came in because they do stuff for pets too.
Oh yeah, they make.
She'll make like a little like charm for your pooch or your cat or something.
And she will specially intention that as well.
So yeah, I thought that was kind of a cute idea.
But this is something that I bought like a couple of years ago from them, and it's still, I love it. Like this is one of my favorite bracelets I've ever gotten from them, and I wear it a lot, especially if I need a little, you know, kick.
I can see it.
But I actually bought a lot more stuff than what I normally do, which she'll tell you I'm normally really, really frugal with these kind of trips, but I went there with a specific list of things that I needed, and then
Yeah, she calls me and she's like, hey, can we go to Power of the Rainbow? And I was like, yeah. She goes, I actually have like a list of stuff because I'd wanted to do a haul from the other stuff, and I was like, do you have anything that you've gotten recently to kind of go with it? And she's like, well, I have to go anyway. Why don't we just go? I have like a list. And she goes in there, and the list didn't even get gotten until the end. Like she just
it was rough. I actually had to put a few things back because it ended up being like over $50. Like
yeah, she'd beaten me.
Oh my
for
heart, I
once.
can't do that right now. Okay, let's cut it back a little bit. So I just kind of left with the necessities and some really, you know, some things. But I mean, even with this stuff, you're gonna be able to see a really big difference from what I buy and what she buys. Like you pull something. What'd you get?
I'll pull that one. One of the last pieces I ended up getting, but I just thought the colors were so neat, is Sunset Sodalite. So the sunset part coming from how it looks like that peachy tone and
Which
that
I think
blue.
is really pretty.
Yeah, and the peach tone is actually sunstone, which you've had a couple pieces of before. Do you still have them?
The sun.
Yeah, because you had. Yeah.
I wish I did, but it was part of the stuff that got stolen.
That sucks.
Yeah, I had to, for a short time being, I had to put a bunch of my possessions in a storage container, storage locker, and it got broken into. And I got a call from them saying, okay, it looks like they just damaged your lock, but the lock is still intact. We don't think they left anything, you know, that they stole anything. And I was like, oh, okay, we're good then. And then at some point I finally went back and I got into my storage locker and everything was gone except for like the big pieces of furniture.
Stuff they couldn't move, basically.
The stuff that they couldn't move. Everything else was gone, including most of my rock collection, almost all of my books, which that hurt more than anything else.
Yeah, that was
But
garbage.
anyway, so I had Sunstone at one point, but no mas.
So that's what the orange part is. Sodalite being the blue, so I'm guessing it has multiple properties to it because it is blended.
Oh yeah. Which
Again,
really beautiful.
we're not talking about metaphysical properties today. That'll be in another. We're thinking of a name. If anyone's got good ideas, comment down below. But we're trying to have different series on different days. Not that we're gonna do a video for every day of the week, but I was thinking, and I was telling her that if we had kind of an upload schedule to kind of follow, it would make life easier on us. So we knew what we were gonna film. We knew when things were gonna go up and like, you know, everything else. So
And see, that's so much more structured than what I would have done. I would have just been, we'll film what we film when we film it, and it'll get put up when it gets put up. Which
I feel like we'd forget stuff.
we probably would.
So I'm looking at day of the week being Sunday. So right now the name tentatively is Stone Sunday. I feel like that's a little lame and not very vibrant, kind of.
Jeez, if anything, do like a Mineral Monday or something.
But not everything's a mineral, is it?
No,
That was
but-
one of the things I was talking about. Because, like, we've got Tarot Tuesday, which, you know, kind of goes together. And then my series, which is going to go up this Friday, actually, is the first one, which is Futhark Friday.
It can just be a rockin' Sunday.
You know, I was thinking of something like that, like Sunday Rocks or something kind of darky.
Rockin' Sunday.
But then I was like, that doesn't... I don't know. I like alliteration.
Why you gotta make my life difficult?
It's a thing. But yeah, if anyone's had ideas, put them down. You know, not that a lot of people watch this yet, but if you do and you have an idea, let us know.
And those of you that are watching, feel free to comment. We want
We want feedback.
we want feedback. We would love to get, you know, start feeling like part of a community. It would be really nice. So if you got something to say, please say it. We would love to hear from you. But anyway, so yeah.
And that was, I didn't even know this stone existed, talking about having unique pieces. So this is definitely the first piece I've ever had of, I don't even think I owned sunstone. Like,
oh really?
yeah, like the closest I ever got to this was peach moonstone, I
Oh.
think. I don't think I have actual sunstone in my collection though.
And see, in comparison to what she just showed you, I don't have a single statement piece. Everything that I have is either very tiny pieces or multiples of the same rock. About the most special or different stone that I actually have in here is a regular old amethyst.
The coloring on these was real special though, quite
That's
honestly.
the only reason why I consider this to be something different than all the others. Is the fact that yes, this is an amethyst just like any other amethyst, but y'all are probably not going to be able to see this very well, but this is such a good quality amethyst.
It looks like purple glass.
It's a high grade.
Yeah.
And when you hold it up to the light and the light goes through it, it has a very rich, deep dark purple. To the point where it was such a deep purple, I actually asked him if this had come out of the mine in one of the Carolinas, because that particular mine is really well known for having very dark, almost black purple amethyst. And he was like, I know what you're talking about. No, not quite. And I think he said that this one was from like Uruguay.
Yeah, let's see. Well, I think the big ones were from Uruguay. I think he said these were...
Oh, was
Not-
it Namibia?
Yeah, that might be Africa, if I'm going to be honest. But, oh, well, I don't know.
Please don't
That's-
blind them.
I was trying to see if I could get the glass. There we go, kind of. You can kind of see it right there where it's kind of going through. You can see that big old purple shine right there.
But that,
It's not doing it justice. I just
No,
kind of
it's
wanted
really
to
not.
show you kind of what it looked like. And
but
then,
the whole tray that he had of these particular ones, they were all really high quality, really high grade, but they were clear. Like there's not really a lot of.
they were pretty well priced.
They were really well priced. I got this one for $3. But it was such a beautiful color, and it was such a clear amethyst. Like there's really nothing breaking it up on the inside from the light going through it. I don't know why, but it made my little magpie brain happy. And I was like, okay, I like you. You're coming home with me. And even as I'm holding it, I'm getting a very good one.
Yeah, and I actually got a piece too, but whereas hers is more of a deep purple, I have some purple, but then I actually got some black.
Yeah, which you like the darker, murkier colors.
So that one's also going to be kind of hard to kind of really see what's going on. I'm trying
but
to.
You got it out of the same tray.
Yeah, so it's just as glossy, just as polished up. I'm trying to see. There we go. You can kind of see how it's almost clear where hers is almost all purple.
Mm-hmm.
My piece has some clear and then some really dark on like the point of it right there. But yeah, this one just is shiny.
But yeah, I don't do a lot of statement pieces or big pieces with the rocks or stones. Mine are mostly very simple staples, and I get a lot of them because I do, like I mentioned before, I use them in a lot of grid work, which requires a lot of multiples of certain stones. Like, I can show you, let's see here. I can show you that one, and I can show you that one. Okay. So, I got some stones for grid work. One of them was this pack of 4 rose quartz, because I ended up using some of my rose quartz for other things. And I was like, okay, I need some more rose quartz to do grid work, because I do a lot of self-love gridding, and I really enjoyed rose quartz. And I also got some other rose quartz, which I actually had to
That was a struggle to find.
Yes, it was. Because he had a lot bigger pieces of rose quartz, and I was asking him, like, do you have any really teeny tiny chips? I want to put this in, like, a perfume bottle for a special project, because I like to imbue crystals with, use crystals to imbue my stuff. He's like, let me see what I got in the back, because he always keeps the little nidbit crumbles. But he ended up finding these little tiny chips for me. He's like, oh my god, that's perfect. That'll fit in the mouth of my perfume bottle. And he's like, I don't know what to charge you for this. Just take it. I was like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, because, where's the other little bag? This one?
Yeah.
So, even these were something he had to pull out from the back, but what was funny is he had pulled out, like, a bag, that this was a bag in the bag in the bag, and the pieces in that bag were bigger, like, but not by much, and I'm like, dude, that's still too big, and he's like, I have never had anyone say those pieces are too big. I was like, no, she needs, like, slivers, man. Like, she needs the tiniest pieces.
Which he understood once I said, it needs to fit into a perfume bottle. He's like, oh, okay, I got you. And he pulled out these little teeny tiny chips. He's like, just take those home with you. It's fine. I can't sell them. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so if any of you, well, I don't know if other stores would do that, but a lot of rocks, especially when they get tumbled or kind of tossed together, little pieces of them will break off.
That are left over.
So it'll never hurt to ask. So if you guys do have a rock store nearby, or if you happen to be in Texas, you can swing by. But they might just sell you a bunch of them for maybe real cheap. Maybe, they won't just give you a couple scrapes, but maybe they'll be like, well, if you buy like a whole little baggie, that'll be like $1 or something.
Yeah.
Which knowing you should have just filled up a little baggie with the dust and paid $1 just so you have enough for later use.
I should have, but I didn't think of that, okay? But even these 4 little ones that he had to grab from the back, they ended up being $1 for all of them.
Yeah. And then I got a piece of rose quartz, much bigger though. And I don't know if I left it in Vegas or if I have it here, but I have like an actual piece of rose quartz that's like this big. It's a little spirally looking one.
I would love to have one of those.
Yeah, and that one I got for a really good deal at TJ Maxx. That one I think I paid maybe $20.
See, I want a rose quartz tower. I love rose quartz. I really do, and it is a stone that I like to rely on a lot for my mental health whenever I'm feeling really, really down. So I love that one. Piece.
I'm thinking about making like some kind of jewelry. I thought that was kind of just like a neat size for like a necklace.
Yeah, and it already has a hole drilled for you. I love the shape of it.
Mm-hmm. And then it's actually polished on this side too, which I didn't realize.
Oh, yeah. I didn't...
It's all smooth, so it's not gonna jab you in the chest or anything wherever you decide to put it, which is nice.
No damaging of the girls.
They did have, what was it, jade? He had some pieces of jade that were like this big with like a hole through them, and I'm like, statement piece. But I did like one, and then you liked it too. But I was just like.
There were some really beautiful jade pieces.
There was a couple things I wanted, but it was like this or like my whole little tray.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, nah. Because like she mentioned before, her bracelet, they actually had a bracelet that was very my type of stuff. Like it had rainbow moonstone, it had, I'm pretty sure, jet, onyx, or obsidian, or a mix of the 3.
I know that it had
It had snowflake obsidian, but then there was a solid black, and I couldn't tell off the top if it was jet onyx or obsidian, and I didn't think to ask.
Oh, I probably could have told you if I had looked at it, but I didn't know you wanted to know.
Yeah, and then the other reason I really liked it is because she puts sometimes. Does yours have any metal? Or
This one
on it?
is the only one that doesn't.
Like a lot of their pieces have like she puts little metal ends or something on there just to kind of break it up.
Or a metal bead.
And the metal beads on these were little keys, and I thought that was it kind of spoke to me a little more because keys are a symbol of Hecate and some other goddesses, but it's a very big symbol for her. And I actually bought, I think you've seen it, the little crow that's on top of my jewelry box. It's wearing a little key.
A lot of things that you're attracted to have keys in them.
And I've liked keys for a minute. Like, I don't know where they went, but we went antique shopping one time, and I bought, like, old useless keys just because they were shiny. So, I like keys.
Which, it was interesting that you were like, ooh, I like this bracelet, and then you looked at the bead and you turned it over and you're like,
it's got keys.
Hun, it's got a key on it. I was like,
and I would have bought it because again it was the right colors. It was all black and white and stuff. And I think was it howlite too, or was it just the snowflake obsidian? So we're talking about a bracelet. So I think you're right. I don't think it had howlite, but it had the snowflake obsidian, and it had, like I said, another dark stone. Like I said, either solid obsidian, jet, or onyx. And it had rainbow moonstone, and it had something else. I think I took a picture of it, so I was really into it. I'm sure they're well worth the price. It was the bracelet or everything else I bought, because it would have been almost even, and I couldn't do both, and I didn't really, I did not see myself buying the bracelet instead of everything else. See?
oh yeah.
That's why I didn't know if that was howlite.
Actually, that may be howlite.
So there might be some howlite on there, because I did take a picture, so it is mostly snowflake obsidian, and then, like I said, these are solid dark, and then these were kind of an off gray.
Oh yeah.
This one, I think, is the rainbow moonstone. We're looking at a picture of it. I'll just, slap up part of it. I don't want to slap up the whole thing. But those colors, and so it's very, my aesthetic. It would go
very much
with what I wear on a regular. And like I said, definitely would have bought it. It's just, I liked everything else I already had. Had I seen, like, the bracelet first, I would have been like, we gotta go, I found it, let's get out of here. Or if I find anything else, but I've never actually bought any jewelry because I typically don't like it enough to think about buying it. Like,
yeah.
I can appreciate how lovely that is, but, like, I don't see me wearing it.
And this is just the easiest way for me to do my stuff, and I can do it on the down low.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Beaded bracelets are one of the easiest things probably to wear. They're probably easier to do than rings because, like you saw today, she was trying on a whole bunch of rings, and if they don't fit your hand right, or they don't... He was talking about stones going with your complexion, even, and if you care about that stuff, that's a little harder to kind of work with.
Which
too.
Actually, this is another thing that I bought at the Power Rainbow for our haul today, and it's a hematite ring. And he was kind of talking to us about how they're made and the fact that it's the powdered
remains kind of.
after, almost like you take the stone, you grind it up in like a mortar and pestle or the leftovers from whatever workings you're doing to polish the other stones, and then it gets melted down in a forgery and then reforged as ring. Into castings as a ring, which that's so cool to me. And plus, I love that element. Hematite has always kind of been something I associated with my lady, and then once, kind of the way that the rings are made, I don't know, it's just something about it that was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and buy that for that. So, it's a nice little way for me to keep something on me regularly that I can just look down and think of her.
Mm-hmm. And hematite rings are probably one of the more common stone rings that I've seen. Because I've seen them at other stores, for sure. I think I might have even seen them at, like, Disneyland or something.
Yeah, will you hand me that pamphlet real quick? There was something written that was, I hope it's in here, that I read it, and it was like, she was, like, right here behind me, and she was like, oh, really?
Oh,
she was so happy about it. And I was like, okay, I hear you. Yeah, I hope it's written on here. No, it's not written on here, but it was almost like...
was it called Blood of the Land or something?
Blood in the Stone or something, or, blood in the metal. And she was like... And I just felt this, like her, like, shivering up my spine. she was, I don't know, she was very, very happy with it. And I was like, okay, you like it that much? Okay, I will purchase one for, you know, to keep on me for dedication to you. And that seemed to make her very happy. I felt little rolling chuckles.
Oh, literally, it's called the Bloodstone. It's another name for it. It's not quite what the descriptor said. It was really close to that, but I just looked it up real quick.
Yeah, it was more like the blood in the stone, or the blood.
I thought it was blood of the land, like literally like land as in earth, not
blood of the land, blood of the stone, or blood of the metal, or something.
Blood
like
of
that.
something.
But either way, I read it, and immediately she was like, "Yes," and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, she was just like, "Ooh," and I was like, "Okay," because even I noticed, and she was like, "Ooh," and I was like, "You okay?"
Like, when she sends messages, she sends messages, and I listen. So yeah, but that was really the more unique thing that I actually bought for this particular haul. And I actually did buy something else specifically for my lady. And it is Bloodstone, which I also tend to associate with her. You had actually found a piece a piece of bloodstone that had been carved into a heart. And, you know, you were asking me what it was, and I immediately thought it was bloodstone. I grabbed it, and I felt her, and I was like, okay, I feel her. It also looks like a bloodstone. I'm going to say it's a bloodstone. And he was walking by helping somebody else, like, real quick, what is this? And he was like, hold on. Hold up to light. Bloodstone. And I was like, gotcha.
What did I think it was?
You thought it was an agate.
No, I didn't think it was agate. It was... I forget what I thought it was, but it was something else similar that's a green color, because...
I thought you thought it was... Oh, did you think it was an aventurine?
No, I forget what I thought it was, because then you mentioned agate, and I was like...
I said it's either that or a moss agate, but I'm going to bet you it's a bloodstone.
Yeah, because, I don't know if you guys can tell, but the only bloodstone I'd ever seen was, like, a very solid color with flecks of red in it.
Yeah, let me see.
And this color, and this stone had more of a clear aspect to it. There was parts where you could see through, like, the top layer into deeper layers, and I had never really seen bloodstone like that.
Can you pull out your light? I want to see. I don't know if we're going to be able to have this show up for y'all, if we shine a light on it, but we'll try. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to go this way.
Whoop. Go this way?
Yeah. A little closer. So you can kind of tell here. Aim it. There we go. So it's more solid. It's just a very deep green. It almost looks black. And like right now it looks black.
And then it's got very bright. Okay. We may have to try and see if we can take a picture or something. But it's got very bright red flecks in it that look like literally someone has bled onto a piece of moss or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. There's just something about it that I really enjoy the feel of. It's good for a lot of different things that we'll probably talk about this later on. But I got it specifically for a grid for her.
Open that up again. I think it's getting a little too dark in here again.
Yeah.
Next stone I got, and I do believe I already have a piece of this, but
be right back.
Each one of these is quite unique. So, and it is a jasper, right? Yeah, that looks a little better, dude. So a lot of jaspers are pretty unique in themselves. Like Mookite's very unique. Like each piece is kind of different.
Mm-hmm. They're not uniform.
Mm-hmm. And this is called Picasso stone, which is just another type of jasper. But if you
it's Picasso jasper. Which...
Ooh, there we go. There we go. You can kind of see how it's a little striped and kind of a weird little pattern to it.
Some of them are actually really like they're either harshly lined or they have like swirls in them that kind of remind me of the Starry Night. But they have that very, like, bold stroke look to them.
Mm-hmm. Probably where they got the whole Picasso thing, because his stuff is very angular. If I don't have a piece of this, I think the other piece I was thinking of is I have a piece of Pediarsite.
Oh, yeah.
Which is also just a jumble of stuff. That's what it looks like.
So, yeah. The rest of what I got was mostly particular stones and pieces for a particular project that needed to be kind of smaller to fit into glass bottles and things like that. But these are kind of going back to what I said earlier about I buy staples. I buy the same stones over and over because I keep using them in particular works. And it just, I don't know why, but it's always these stones. And I very rarely get other stones for those types of workings. But sometimes I do. It's just very rare. But, like, for instance... I got some more little garnet pieces. I like these a lot in things for my lady. And I also use them a lot in my little bottles. Which actually I'm hoping to maybe make my own oils or perfume. And I like keeping crystals in the bottom of those bottles for just to give it a little extra something. So that was one of the things that I got. What'd you get?
That's interesting here in the light with the little flecks of
Oh
red.
yeah.
So this is eye light, and this is one of the very first things someone else had gifted to me. My sister and the kids actually got me a piece of jewelry at their witchy store.
Their rock store.
Sort of rock. It's more witchy than rock though. They have like a little section of rocks, but that's where I've got. We've mentioned them before. That's where I got my wand and some other actual tools. But the piece was a dragon, and a little chunk of it was a piece of iolite, and it looked almost black, but when you put it up to light, it's navy blue.
This was really cool.
So this piece, you can tell it's blue a little better than that piece.
It's almost a purplish blue.
Mm-hmm. What I thought was cool is, I don't think you guys are going to be able to see it, but when I put it up to the light, there's tiny little flecks of red in there. And I'm kind of curious.
I wonder if that's,
I wonder if that's
rust.
Mm-hmm. Some kind of iron or something like that. And then I'm just going to go through the little itty-bitty pieces I bought of some stuff.
That's really cool.
So that was
I like how transparent it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's maybe a semi-precious, because I've seen a lot of iolite jewelry.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I didn't know it was considered.
I don't know if it is considered semi-precious, but I have seen a lot of it polished up to look like stones, and they put it in rings, earrings.
Maybe because it kind of looks sort of similar to an amethyst, sort of.
I would have gone more sapphire, but yeah.
Sapphires are more expensive though.
Well, yeah, but I mean color tone.
Oh well, yeah.
If you got a blue like that, it might convince people that it might be a sapphire. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
This piece, I don't really remember what it's for, but again, this video is not for that. This is called Heliodor, and this stuff wasn't actually this was cheap because it was
Helio was in the sun?
Yeah. Helio. So I wouldn't be surprised considering it's yellow, but he had better pieces that weren't cheap. It was in his little glass cabinet. Oh. So he's got like glass cabinets that have like the really expensive stuff in there. Obviously, it's just so things don't get stolen and stuff. I swear,
there's like pieces of blue tourmaline in there, and they are gorgeous.
He's got the green tourmaline too, the stick ones that you like.
Like, I don't know why, but blue or green or even watermelon tourmaline.
Watermelon tourmaline is beautiful.
Like, I wish I could add the money to be able to afford things like those, because
they're pretty awesome.
It's like my little magpie brain just lights up like the 4th of July when I see those.
So yeah, again, we're not talking about what these are for, but this one was $1 just because it was like a chip of something basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought it was funny because it reminds me of a nose. Like a nose in profile kind of. Well,
you didn't buy it just because it looks like a nose.
No, there was more to it than that. And then as I was going through the pieces, because finding a good piece in those chip bowls is sometimes a little harder, but I forget what it's for, but I liked also the little descriptor behind it. And I was like, okay. So, and then I just thought that was like a unique piece. Because I like pieces that look like stuff.
She's a collector at heart.
Fire agate, and this piece I thought was real neat because
you've bought some fire agate before.
Pretty sure I have, and I also have fire opal.
I know you like a lot of.
That was an expensive piece, but I don't know if it's gonna show up because agates tend to be a little clearer. You can kind of see it, yeah. But there's a piece on here. I don't think it's gonna show up very well, unfortunately, but. Right there in the middle, it looks like it's got a hole in it, like it broke, but that is actually covered up by another, almost like the stone did have a hole in it at one point while it was forming, and then it just, when it filled in with clear stone instead of filling in with, because if I had to take a guess at what happened.
Swap you.
Oh, I didn't even know you had this.
Oh yeah, it is almost like a little bubble pocket that got filled in, clear. That's cool.
I just thought it was neat. And so, again, some of my pieces are almost show pieces, but they're not big enough to be show pieces, so I don't really know what to call them, but they're just really unique looking. And then whatever properties they have also obviously go into it, but that one for sure was this is really cool looking piece. Not gonna lie.
It's very bubbly looking.
Okay. anything else to show and tell?
I think the very last things that I bought were same thing. They're little pieces that are going to go into little bottles to help, give specific things. But I bought another piece of black tourmaline, another little tiny quartz point, and then a rutilated quartz, which anybody that does not know, rutilated quartz is quartz that has strings of metal in it.
Yeah, I actually have a really good piece of that. I wonder if it's in this bag.
Oftentimes it's copper.
I hope I have it in here, actually.
We'll see. And Alex finds it in the bag.
Yeah, I do. It's
good job,
it's a real wild piece because this one has hematite or something else in it, like a more, see?
Oh, that's cool.
That wasn't a bad one, I think. It didn't have the price on here, but...
I love the way that those look.
So this is an older piece from the time before the last time that we went. And you can kind of see what she was talking about, more of these gold kind of strands.
Yeah, that's a lot easier for you to see on
the light's not helping too much right now, but what I really liked about it was the back. It looks like shrapnel or something. It looked like something had blown up almost, got embedded, and then, reformed up, because I just thought it was so neat, and I had never seen another piece of it with that. Like, none of the other pieces he had the backing like this, and I was just like, okay, that's, again, unique piece, because... Related quartz will always have the gold because that's what makes it related quartz. But yeah, I just really thought the back of that was neat. But yeah.
But like I've showed you, most of the things that I get are for specific little things. They are mostly, anytime that I go back to get my staples, it ends up being quartz, or black tourmaline, or garnet pieces. And every once in a while there will be like a little something else, but those are my staples that I've noticed that I reuse for a lot of different things, so I keep going back and getting more. But along with that, I got a couple of other little things for specific projects, and then the one or two other things that do not have specific projects but are for different things. So
I still have a few things, man.
Are you kidding?
No, I still got a pile over here. That's why I was like.
And she gives me a hard time. Alright, from this point on, it's just me sitting back and I was like, okay, what you got?
Thanks. So this is gonna be in another video of ours, actually.
Oh yeah.
One of the stones for the upcoming holiday is emerald, and I know I have a piece of emerald somewhere.
Come here.
We're fighting with the dog here for a second. Sorry, folks.
She wants to be up here, but at the same time, she doesn't want to be up here.
Yeah.
So she'll figure it out.
So I got a couple. Sorry, got a couple of pieces of emerald.
You actually got the emerald?
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I told you I was getting some. So this one is more green. It has more of the green in it, so you can tell. Most people don't think emerald in its raw form looks like this. Because you see the shiny emerald and you're like, oh yeah, shiny.
I think they think it's much more clear and crystal, kind of like, like a piece of glass or something.
Mm-hmm. Which I kind of wonder how you get that from this.
I'm not sure.
I don't either, because
I'm not a jeweler.
Yeah, because I've seen raw sapphire, and raw sapphire looks like this but blue. Mm-hmm. Same with rubies. It all looks like this when it starts out.
At least things like garnet, they look a little bit more
even
rough
when it's
on the outside, but it kind of has that, once you do this, you can see little pockets of shine in it, and you can tell that inside it's very clear.
And then I liked this piece because of the green and the black, because I don't know what the black is, but emerald comes in a black stone. It always has bits of black in it.
Let me see one of the pieces.
So I'm not sure what the black is, if it is anything besides just, it could just be darker emerald for all I know.
That is really cool how it has the black, and then there are the big splotches of the green emerald.
Yeah, that's why I liked that piece. You actually ended up liking this piece, and you're like, I like that one. I'm like, okay, shit.
Well, I didn't know you were going to go home with it.
Well, I was just looking, and I couldn't really find a piece.
I don't know. I like the feel of emerald, but I really don't know what it's for. But it feels good.
I think it's for mermaids, actually. Yeah, it's one of the weird ones. It's green, but it doesn't really go with what you think green goes with.
Oh, it's green, so I would assume it may be part of the heart chakra.
Yeah, I could see that. But a lot of people think like reds, pinks, purples.
Which this is actually an interesting to know. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes you can kind of figure out what chakra a stone is by the color. Like a lot of pink ones are going to be for the heart. A lot of green ones are going to be for the heart. A lot of red is going to be for your root chakra. Orange for sacral. Yellow for solar plexus. You know, moving
Things
on
like
and
that.
on like that. And not always, but sometimes that will help you figure out what a particular stone might be used for or good for.
True.
Like I said, not always true, but sometimes it's a little trick that can come in handy.
Oh my God.
Is
Sorry.
it trying to like fall down your pants or something?
It was trying to run away. They kept falling in my lap and jumping out. Is that a little lamb chop doll?
Yes, Mom got her a little lamb chop doll.
At TJ Maxx, we had a dog lamb chop, and it was like this big.
That's big.
Yeah, it was huge. I was like,
That's kind of scary.
yeah, because we grew up with lamb chop. Lamb chop was a thing, and
We're 90s kids.
yeah, I ended up actually getting a lamb chop puppet. Remember when we lived at the
Oh,
apartment?
yeah.
Because I don't know. At one point, I was just like, I want one, and I now own a lamb chop puppet somewhere in my collection of interesting things. Back to the video.
Yeah, you are a collector of interesting things.
Yeah. This piece made me laugh. It's obsidian.
Is it?
It's rough obsidian, which I don't actually think I own a piece of, because the roughest piece I think I own is an Apache tier.
Oh, yeah.
But it's still kind of smooth in parts. It's just a little rough on other parts.
I love
So-
Apache tier.
So that is not as shiny, obviously, because it's not polished up, but that is a piece of pretty rough obsidian.
It would not be a trip to the rock shop without Alex coming home with a piece of obsidian.
Hey man, I love obsidian. That's my jam. And then this piece I thought was real cool. I don't know if y'all are gonna see it because it is really dark.
Oh, that one.
It is blue goldstone. Goldstone is, it's something poured with copper to make it look shimmery, but it's man-made. It's not something found like that in nature.
Is it like mica or something?
I forget what it is, but
I don't know.
is goldstone just called goldstone, like the normal brownish color?
Yeah.
So a lot of people have probably seen that. I actually had someone in school have a ring, like a hematite ring, but it was made of the goldstone.
Oh, yeah.
It's just super, super, super glittery. This one is a little less glittery than most. They had green, blue, and the regular. The green keeps catching my eye, but I'm not a really big fan of goldstone just because it's not necessarily a natural element. I'm just not like... Kind of like I don't buy opalite for the same reason. I'm like, if I'm going to buy anything, I'd rather buy an opal.
Yeah, but
You know?
opals will set you back a little.
Yes, someday I will have opals. All the opals. So, yeah, that shimmer is, like, gone. You can't even tell. But it is dark blue and sparkly. But, yeah, she was saying how she thought this was going to be a bead or a piece for jewelry and ended up getting put into the wrong bowl, I think.
Oh.
But I ended up with it because, again, I like shapes, kind of like going back to my
Tried.
blue chalcedony. It's very tear-shaped. I'm into shapes. I like them. Apparently you like sticks. I did not know that till today. Cause
Oh, the
the
points?
yeah, well, not even the points. They were just like the tourmaline, how it grows in stick formation.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because I have a piece, I think, of that really, really, really skinny tourmaline. And
See, this is the thing.
she made fun of me.
You
gave me
now.
you gave me the hardest time about that because it was black. I'm like, yeah, it's good for like protection or whatever. You're like, this little thing, I don't see how. you just wail.
And now
on
black
some
tourmaline
little-
is like one of the biggest things for me. Like,
That's funny.
I don't know why, but obsidian, meh, I do like it more now than I used to, but it's not a big thing. But for that particular thing, black tourmaline. I don't know, it just really works for me. But
I think the energy's a little nicer too.
I think so. I think it flows better. It's a little less heavy-handed, maybe. But what was I saying? I remember now. Sorry, this is apple tea. It's so good, but for once, something cold instead of something hot. But I was saying that you like a lot of shapes that are like polished, like the round, spherical, or like squarish. Like you like more man-made shapes. What I like in rocks and stones is more of a natural shape. Like I love kyanite in the way that it fans.
Oh yeah, I
I think that's really
kyanite.
really attractive, the way that kyanite just naturally fans out. And then I love the way that tourmaline is with
Like the stick.
the stick. Or the
Yeah,
you know,
because
the
he has
regular
really
block.
good pieces of green tourmaline that are like big pieces, and I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, those are expensive. Still going, still got rocks. So I haven't.
Man, I should have staggered mine out. A little
I
bit
know.
more.
So I was like, okay, I'll just let you do your thing though, because I was like, don't want to interrupt.
No, I'm gonna interject. Which one is that?
This is an agate, which I thought was kind of weird because
That's an agate?
Mm-hmm. It was in the banded agate little pile, and
I can't hardly even get some.
I know that's why I thought it was so weird. But I was
I
like,
can't hardly get any light through it. Are you sure?
Yeah, and that's what she labeled it as, so
Sure.
for sure. But yeah, that's a really weird agate, honestly, considering I've owned different agates myself, and I've never had one that's
I'm gonna
basically
see about some
black.
more light because I was not expecting it to get that dark so quickly.
Yeah, this living room's a little dark. So this again was one of those shape pieces that it just felt nice, and it wasn't overly expensive or anything, so just another agate for the collection. And then this was one of the new ones that I had never actually seen before. The Gabbro? Remember it was like the big piece at the bottom that you were looking at the palm stones that were kind of like the purple splotches? She wrote indigo on this one though, which it didn't have it on the bowl.
Indigo Gabbro?
Mm-hmm. So I wonder if the other one was just, because the other one didn't have indigo. None of them said indigo.
Yes,
so
they did.
They did?
One of them did. It was the tray that had the little eggs, the splotchy eggs around it. That one said Indigo Gabbro.
Oh, because I didn't remember that saying this. So I was a little
I may not be able to remember everything, but sometimes I can remember something.
This is kind of... God, that light is awful, dude.
It's sorry, I was trying to help.
Yeah, it's...
I'll turn it off.
Well, no, I think we just need more light. Anyway, so it's splotchy. You can kind of see it there in that kind of light right there where it looks really, really dark, but the background color is kind of like an indigo, whitish, purplish color, and then the other color is just black on there, so... Oh, that was neat. I liked also what it stood for. I don't remember what it stood for right now because my brain... And we're not talking about that today anyway, so that doesn't really matter. And my last stone. Yay.
She says last.
No, for real, this is my last stone. Yay, we're done. Is another one that was just... They were all super unique. And this one was just extra wild, honestly. Just the way it
Oh,
laid.
yeah, that piece.
And it is the... Hewlodite?
Hewlodite?
Something like that. So, that is... Let me flip it around. So it's kind of got like jagged edges. It's layered all kinds of weird. So, yeah, I just thought it was kind of neat. So I have a lot of these little like kind of unique one-off pieces. And then, I don't think it's going to be in there. It's one of his newer pieces.
Yeah, actually it is.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Hewlodite?
Yeah. Okay.
So...
We're not talking about that today, though.
Yep. But actually, I was just trying to see if it was even in here, because I know it was one of the not quite so common ones, but
it was
it's in there. So.
And then the last thing I got,
Uh-huh.
which I'm still confused, but something was just like, buy it. And I was like, oh god, okay. Because the other one kind of looked a little more, because they had like two shapes, and the other one kind of reminded me more of like something a little more serious. And this one just was, I don't know why. But I bought it. Here it is. It's a little tiny angel. I am not of this particular faith.
Persuasion.
Yeah, as far as anything goes, I feel like if I really had to say anything about angels, I feel like maybe that's something where humans can kind of put a shape or a face to like a spirit, because some people just are a little heebie-jeebie by their spirits in the house, you know? So maybe they're like, oh, it's angels. It makes them feel better, I think. Because if you really look back, there's some really weird stuff about angels, how they were supposed to look. They're not normally looking like this, but we're not talking about that today. But, yeah. I feel like that's it. Is there anything else you wanted to
No, that's it for me.
talk about?
We already talked about all my things I bought at the rock shop.
All your tiny bits.
All my tiny bits. All your big bits.
Yeah, something like that. Probably another reason why I don't do grids is because I like big bits. I like big bits and I cannot die.
Oh my god, I can't. I can't.
Anyway. Hey, we could make a song about we like big rocks and we cannot lie.
Let's see what I have to put up with.
Hey, it's alright. Alright, but I think that's about it. I think we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah, I think.
On that note.
I think we've gone long enough. Thank you for sticking with us. We hope that you enjoyed this.
Yep. Totally.